We continue learning workbook page 126 with this problem.
Use the quadratic formula to solve. The sum m plus 3 times the sum 5m plus 1 equals 3 times the difference m minus 4 plus 7. Okay, so this definitely does not look like a quadratic equation. Remember that a quadratic equation is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Notice that the quadratic equation has no parentheses and it ends with 0. This has parentheses all over the place and it definitely does not end with 0. So our job is to take this and make it look like that, then use the quadratic formula. All right, let's proceed. We're going to FOIL on the left-hand side. M times 5m is 5m squared. M times 1 is m. And because everything here is positive, we're going to have all plus signs. 3 times 5m is 15m. 3 times 1 is 3. All right, so there's our FOIL on the left side. We'll distribute on the right. We get 3m, subtract 12, and then bring down the plus 7. All right, let's combine our like terms. 5m squared plus 16m plus 3. And over here we have 3m subtract 5. All right, so all the parentheses are gone. Now we've got to get the equal 0. We use our opposites to achieve that. This is a positive 3m, so if we subtract 3m on both sides, that'll create a 0 here. This is a subtract 5, so if we add 5 on both sides, that'll create a 0 here. So now we have 5m squared plus 13m plus 8 equals 0. Now, compare this with this. You will see that we have now achieved the objective. We have put our equation in a form such that we can now use the quadratic equation. Let's identify our coefficients. A is 5, B is 13, C is 8. All right, so now that we know our three coefficients, we just have to plug into the quadratic formula and simplify, and we will have our answer to this problem. All right, here we go. Let's write the quadratic formula. So our variable in this problem is m, so I will write m equals opposite b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, whenever you write the quadratic formula, always write the equals and make sure that your fraction bar goes from the equals to the end of the radical. All right, now we're going to plug in. So we get opposite 13 plus or minus 13 squared minus 4 times 5 times 8 all divided by 2 times 5. All right, let's simplify. Negative 13 plus or minus the square root. 13 squared is 169 minus, count the number of hyphens after the exponent of 2. There is 1 hyphen after the exponent of 2, which means that this is going to be a subtraction symbol. Now just work with the numbers. 4 times 5 is 20, times 8 is 160, all divided by 10. So then we have m equals negative 13 plus or minus 169 minus 160 is 9, so we have the square root of 9 over 10. M equals negative 13 plus or minus 3 over 10. These are now likes, so we're ready to split our plus or minus up into two pieces. So we get m equals negative 13 plus 3 over 10, or m equals negative 13 minus 3 over 10. Negative 13 plus 3 is negative 10. Negative 10 divided by 10 is negative 1. Or we've got negative 13 minus 3, which is negative 16 over 10, and reduce the fraction. The common factor here is 2. We get negative 8/5. So there are two answers, m equals negative 1 and m equals negative 8/5. All right, that's the quadratic formula.